Thank you. My parents were older and kind of worn out by the time I came along. They had already raised kids and they worked really hard, so their evenings often entailed them taking off their shoes, putting their feet in a bucket of hot Epsom salt water and drinking my mom drinking sherry and Coke and my dad drinking Blatz beer and watching Lawrence Welk. And while that may sound like a barrel of fun to some of you, to a 10-year-old boy, not so much. The dog days of the Texas summer were here, and I was bored. I needed adventure. I needed it bad. And behold, my friend Drew and I heard talk from some of the other boys who had joined the local Boy Scouts, and most importantly, they were going on a big camp out. So, of course, we went down to join the Scouts. We went to the meeting place at the local Prince of Peace Lutheran Church, and we joined to learn to do all kinds of Scout stuff. We learned how to say the pledge. We learned how to say the oath. We learned how to do good deed every day, be truthful, brave, reverent, and kind. I think in general they were just trying to tell us to not grow up to be a jackass. My friend and I didn't give much of a flip about any of that stuff. We just wanted to get away from our parents, and probably our parents were vice versa, were eager to get us out. And so the big day came for the fabulous week at Sid Richardson Scout Ranch, all the way over in Dallas County, which seemed like a faraway exotic place to us. We gathered up our gear, and all the local troops went down to meet at the Buddy's supermarket parking lot to await the buses to take us away. We arrived at the scout camp. We unloaded from the bus. We were given a short speech from the owner of the ranch specifically about some do's and don'ts, but most of all, do not harass any livestock we may encounter. The daily morning began with all the scouts lining up, doing the scout oath and such, and the color guard would bring the flag, and we would say the Pledge of Allegiance. The director had a little cannon, and after we said the Pledge of Allegiance, he would touch it off with his fire stick, and it would go, boo! And smoke would come out, and we would start our day. Now, the boys in the tent next to us were from Troop 1157, and we thought they were the bad boys because they were from Grand Prairie. Well, one of the boys noticed that each morning the director would walk over to that little shack prior to the activities and get something out of that shack and go over and stuff it in the back of the cannon. Well, he knew what it was. It was a powder pack. So the night before, he snuck over into that shack and got a couple more powder packs and went back down there and stuffed them down in the back of the cannon. So now we have 3 power packs in. We lined up. We did the scout oath. We did the color guard. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. And the director went to touch off the cannon, but while he was still a good 4 or 5 inches away from the cannon, 3 of the boys from Troop 1157 hit the deck and put their hands in their ears. The cannon went off, and it went bam! And bunches of smoke came out. There was a moment of silence, and a shocked look came over everyone's face. The camp director turned to look at the 3 really hit the deck and so foolishly incriminated themselves. Most of the adults were kind of frozen in place. Most of us kids tried to look straight ahead or down at the dirt to keep ourselves from snickering or laughing at the shocked look on all the adults' faces. We were all ushered off to do our scout things, and later in the day the troop leaders told us not to talk about what had happened, and that those boys were bad and would probably be sent home for what they had done. And of course, as soon as the adults were away, we talked all about it, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. Well, scout camp ended, and Drew and I went home, and we immediately quit the Scouts. But now and then, when we talk, we'll talk about those boys from Troop 1157, and we still laugh and laugh. Hey, thank you, guys, and good night to all of you, and may a song be in your heart and a story in your soul.